Anyone order a deep dish? While I wish I was reviewing a pizza, I'm actually talking about Rogue's deep dish weight plates. So deep dish plates are different than your standard weight plates, obviously because of the deep dish appearance, but they're also thicker, which is by design. So quick history lesson, before bumper plates were invented in the 60s, deep dish plates were actually used during weightlifting competitions. And this is because of that greater surface area, which led to a decreased chance of the wooden platforms cracking when the weights were dropped. I've been using these bad boys for a while, and I am pumped to break down my findings for y'all. What is up, everyone? It's Jake back in the BarBend garage gym with another review ready to go. Today, I've got the Rogue deep dish plates in for review. In this video, I'm gonna tell you everything that you need to know about these weight plates, from the price and the features, of course the pros and the cons, as well as who should or maybe should not add these to their home gym. But before I get really going today, we've reviewed a lot of weight plates on barbend.com. So if you wanna browse our best list, just go ahead and search BarBend best weight plates, and you can find out for yourself which ones we like the best. Okay, so what do I like about these weight plates? Well, let's talk aesthetics. I love the way they look. I love that deep dish design right there. The machining is also super nice. I really don't see any imperfections on here. Maybe a little bit on the inside of this collar, just from, normal wear and tear of me loading and unloading the plate onto a barbell. The E-coat finish right here also is gonna protect these weight plates and, prevent any corrosion from forming on the plates, so that's really nice as well. Since they're thicker than your standard weight plate, they're also gonna be more durable, and the chances of them cracking or breaking when they're dropped are really, really slim. So that's really nice, something that's got going on here for them as well. And they're made of ductile iron, which is stronger than your standard gray iron. Plus they're made in the good old US of A, and I obviously love that. And finally, there's a lot of buying options here. You can purchase these individually or as a full set, so clearly there's a lot to like about these weight plates. Okay, so there's a lot to like about these plates. There's really not too many issues you might run into, but there's still a few, so let's go and get these out of the way right now. Space could be a problem for some of you, especially those powerlifters who are, getting close to maxing out the weight on a barbell. This might not be the ideal choice for you because they're thicker than, any other plate. So that could be a problem for you. And plus storage in general could be an issue because they're gonna take up more space than you really want on your weight horns, and that's just obviously not a good thing. Now, sticking with that thickness, it could potentially affect the whip on your barbell for certain lifts. If you don't know what whip is, essentially it's the amount of bounce that occurs during the middle of your lift. And so these plates could essentially just change the overall feel of your exercise. And lastly, there's no change plates under 25 pounds. So you'll have to mix and match with, some Olympic style plates or really just whatever you have at home. All right, so let's dig into the money now. Once again, you have a lot of different buying options for you to work with, but let's kick this off with the individual pairs. So before shipping, a 25-pound pair of these deep dish plates is gonna run you right around 120 bucks. The 35s are gonna be around 170. These 45s are about 180 bucks. And those 100-pound plates, those are gonna cost you around $360. Okay, so in terms of sets, the 230-pound set is gonna run you around 580 bucks. The 270-pound set is around 660. 320-pound set is around $800. 410-pound set is around $1,000. The 500-pound set is gonna cost you right around 1,300 bucks. That 570-pound set is a shade under 1,400, and that 1,000-pound set is gonna run you around $2,500. Okay, so clearly there's a lot of options for you to choose from, and I love that because that essentially means there's an option for everybody out there. And these are actually some of the cheaper plates that Rogue has to offer. So if you want the Rogue brand, you might want to take a hard look at these. But remember, they do take up a good amount of space on your barbell as well as your weight horns, so they might not be worth it for those elite powerlifters. Okay, so let's talk about the build now and some of the features that you'll find with these weight plates. Once again, these are made right here in the good old USA out of ductile iron, which is stronger than your standard gray iron. The machine finish just looks really good. I don't really notice any imperfections. I might need a magnifying glass to do that. The E-coat is gonna add to the corrosion resistance as well as just overall protect these weight plates. I mentioned all that earlier. It's just worth mentioning it again. Now, as you can tell by now, the appearance on these 35s and the 45s are different. So this is actually done by design because 25s and 35s are technically change plates. So they're gonna go on top of the 100s and the 45s, and they're not really meant to hit the ground, so they don't necessarily need that extra thickness, which is why they don't really have that deep dish design, that this 45-pound plate does. So in terms of thickness, that's obviously gonna change, as I just mentioned. So the 25s and 35s share the same thickness. They're right at 1.3 inches thick. These 45s are just under 2 inches thick, and the 100-pound plates are just under 3 inches thick. Now, if you compare the thickness of these plates, let's say to an Olympic style plate from Rogue, the 100-pound plates are nearly an inch thicker. 45s are about 1.5 inches thicker, but with the 25s and 35s, there's not that much of a difference. I will say though, all across the board, you'll find that the thickness of these plates are actually thinner than what you'll find with some bumper plates. And in terms of the collar openings right here, they're right at 50 millimeters, which is a shade under 2 inches. Okay, so let's talk about the sets again and what you'll get from each one. So the 230-pound set is gonna include two 25s and two 45-pound plates. The 270-pound set, that's gonna include 6 45-pound plates. The 320-pound set is gonna include two 25s to go along with 6 45-pound plates. That 410-pound plate is gonna include 2 of each. So 2 25, 35, 45, and 100-pound plate. That 500-pound set can actually be customized, and that's gonna allow you to really just pick and choose whichever weight plates you want, as long as it doesn't exceed 500 pounds. The 570-pound set is gonna include 4 25s, 6 45s, and 2 100-pound plates. And lastly, that 1,000-pound set is also fully customizable, so you can pick and choose whichever ones you want. Just remember, it can't exceed 1,000 pounds. So if you're an advanced lifter, I'd probably suggest going after that 1,000-pound set. And for those intermediate lifters, I'd probably suggest that 410-pound set. That way you do have some variety with your plates, just as long as you're able to spend $1,000. All right, so let's go and do a quick walk around with these plates right here. Obviously, they're deep dish. You can see it right here. You have a nice surface area right here for you to grip onto. It's really helpful when you go to load and unload your barbell, as well as for storage. It is a little bit funky though, because it's nice and flat on the back side right here. So it can be a little bit hard just to maneuver it sometimes. But all in all, I really love the appearance. It looks like a cast iron skillet. I mean, it looks like I could be frying some eggs in here. Obviously, I'm not gonna do that right now. Maybe another day if it's hot enough outside, but yeah, anyways. So there's really not too many imperfections whatsoever with this finish. Maybe a little bit on the collar on the inside right here, just from normal usage, but for the most part, I mean, these look beautiful in my opinion. Now, obviously, this 35 is significantly smaller than the 45. Well, that's once again by design, because this is considered a change plate. It's gonna go on top of that 45-pound plate right there. So it doesn't need to be as big or as thick, because ideally, you don't want this 35 hitting the ground. So that's why these 45s are thicker. It's gonna really handle all of that shock and absorb everything, so that this smaller plate and that 25-pound plate do not have to do so. Okay, so who should purchase these Rogue deep dish plates? Well, because of how durable they are, I really think these could be a great option for anyone to add to their home gym. Not only are they thicker than your standard plate, they're also made of ductile iron, and that E-coat is just gonna add to the corrosion resistance. Since there's a lot of buying options for you to choose from, there's really an option out there for everybody. Plus, you can add on more weight individually as you become stronger. And if you're interested in a weight plate that is as accurate as possible with what is advertised, this is a really good option for you to consider. Okay, so what about the people who might not be too interested in purchasing these deep dish plates? Well, let's talk about money. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, these are some of the more affordable plates that Rogue has to offer, but they can still fall out of some people's price range. So if you are in fact falling on a budget, I'd suggest looking for a cheaper option out there. The thickness of these plates may not be ideal for any powerlifters out there because that could essentially just decrease the chance of you really being able to get to your 1 rep max because of how much weight they just take up on your barbell, as well as when it comes to storage, they just are gonna dominate a good amount of space. So that could be an issue that you don't really wanna deal with. And sticking with that thickness, these could affect the whip on your barbell and just could mess up your form and just overall change your overall experience and how it feels for your lift. That's about all I got for you today on the Rogue deep dish plates. I love working out with these bad boys. I love that extra thickness. It makes them more durable. And plus, they're about as spot on as it really gets when it comes to their true weight. But remember, this might not be ideal for any elite powerlifters because of how much space they're gonna take up on your barbell. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this video was super helpful, that I was able to answer any questions you might have about these deep dish plates right here. As always, stay on the lookout for my next review, but for now, head over to barbend.com and you can read more about these bad boys right here. All you have to do is search BarBend Rogue Deep Dish Plates Review. Our article is gonna pull right up for you and you can read everything that I talked about here today. I'll see y'all next time.